In today's episode, the Morris Marina. Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, the channel that brings you car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and sometimes beyond those years as well. So if you're interested in this very niche subject, don't forget to subscribe, which of course is completely free. Anyway, in today's episode, like we showed at the start there, this very late brochure for the Morris Marina. So let's take a look at that one now. So here is the brochure, showing this rather lovely green example with a gold stripe going down, very classy. Marina, twice the car for your money, and then showing two models of the Marina. And if I turn to the back page, it tells us this brochure is publication number 3399. So a couple of things about this brochure. I don't believe it's dated. I've not seen a date by quickly scanning over it, although we may find it as we go through the brochure. But it's going to be a late one, so I'm going to say 7980. The other thing about this brochure is, for the Marina, it's actually a huge brochure and very unusually set out as well. Quite wordy, a lot of pages, so I don't know if we're going to read it word for word from front cover to back cover, but we'll see how we get on. Like I said, it's very wordy, and we'll see it's very weirdly set out as well. So when we turn to the first page, it's showing the Marina 1700 HL estate. A couple of weird reasons why that's very strange. Very unusual to turn a brochure and find an estate on the first page, or wagon if you prefer. They're usually like at the back of the page, as almost like forgotten models, but here it's kind of like showcasing it as the model you should be looking at, and which is nice. I think I preferred the estate of the Marinas, but certainly very unusual. Also very unusual, it's showing the HL, the top spec model, and then we kind of like go down the range. But we'll have a look at it in a moment. We'll look at this one first though. It is quite wordy, this brochure. I will read this, but I don't know if I can read everything on every page, and then we'll work our way around the images. Starts by telling us, here it is, the car so many people have been waiting for. A big, powerful Marina estate with all the extra luxury, style and comfort features of the magnificent HL saloons. The new Marina 1700 HL estate offers just about every creature comfort a motoring hedonist could wish for. Deeply cushioned seats are faced in elegant yet hard-wearing velour, nice, with fitted head restraints at the front. Cut pile carpets and tinted windows add to the interior opulence. The matte black fascia, lavish instrumentation, softly padded steering wheel, push button radio, floor console with fitted clock, coin tray and gated handbrake lever. All these mirror the luxurious 1700 HL saloon. So even with the wording, it kind of like implies we should have looked at the saloon first. So very unusual. Carries on by telling us outside there are halogen headlamps and auxiliary driving lights, twin exterior mirrors, triple coach lines and distinctive wheel trim, rear screen washer and wiper, powerful reversing lights, ample evidence that this is no ordinary estate car. Estate car it is though, and when there are awkward or heavy loads to be carried, the Marina 1700 HL lives up to the promise of twice the car for your money. Open the wide tailgate, fold the rear seat squab forward, and you've 58.4 cubic feet gross of carpeted load space, ready to swallow anything, from those urgently needed DIY materials to the family Great Danes, and with the lusty, trusty 1700cc engine up front, there's ample power to transport really heavy loads in the elegant style to which you'll quickly become accustomed. So yeah, very unusually worded. I think the writers really had a field day, aren't they? We have to remind ourselves we're looking at a Marina. Although, to be honest with you, I always quite like the Marina, despite what some of the press said about them. Obviously, this is long in the tooth, and there are probably better cars out there by this stage. Still, I do have a soft spot for them. And like I say, I like the Estates, and look at all that room in there. Nothing fancy like split folding seats, though. There's one full seat that flops down, but lovely carpeted. I think it looks quite nice in this particular high-spec model. And then the car itself, a strange scene though. We got this strange guy sat down with his two dogs, promoting obviously plenty of room in there for two dogs in the estate version of the Marina. But it's a strange pose. He looks like the murderer from Columbo or something. A very strange look on his face. But this particular HL model, I do quite like. Triple stripes on this one, and you know, less stripes means lower down the range, I guess. But we've got some of the bright work around the wheel arches. Quite an attractive dark wheel actually, which goes well against this particular yellow example. But yeah, quite a nice example actually, these high spec ones, the HL. I don't remember seeing many HL models actually. They always seem to be low spec whenever I saw them around, which obviously made sense because price was key if you're buying a Marina, but nevertheless, I wonder how many HLs are still left. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of the range. So then it moves on to show the other top spec model, the saloon version. This one could be had as a 1700 HL or a 1300 HL. I think the main thing here is, ooh, we got a vinyl roof. Let's see how it describes it. Your first glimpse of the HL saloons will tell you that they offer something special in the way of creature comforts and worthwhile refinements. Twice the car for your money, in fact. Outside, there are chrome bumpers with bumper inserts, a spoiler to reduce drag and improve high-speed stability, colour-matched vinyl-covered roof, tinted glass all round, triple coach lines, halogen headlamp units matched with inset auxiliary halogen driving lights, neatly styled rear lights clusters incorporating fog lamps, attractive yet functional wheel trims and practical matte black wiper arms and door-mounted driver's mirror. Inside, the impression of sensible innovation and attention to important details is confirmed. The velour seat facings are every bit as comfortable as they look. The front seats have reclining backrests as standard. Head restraints are also provided. The rear seat has a folding armrest, whilst the passengers are provided with grab handles, the rear ones incorporating useful coat hooks. The impression of luxury is heightened by the cut pile carpet. Incidentally, even the boot floor is carpeted. So apparently this is the 1300 example. I don't know if there's a way to tell the difference actually between a 1300 and a 1700 other than looking at the badge and obviously the engine of course, but I've just been looking from the outside if anyone knows that. Zooming in a bit to the boot area and then bright bumpers and of course that triple gold line denoting this is the HL model. Quite a reasonably sized boot actually. And then bright work around the wheel arches and a nice hubcap. I think the most striking thing about the HL models, the saloons, is that vinyl roof though. And then this one apparently is the 1700 HL. Extra lights, a bit of a spoiler under the bumper there. Do like it in this colour actually, it goes well with that gold stripe I think. And then of course that vinyl roof again. And then it continues actually talking about the 1700 HL and the 1300 HL with some nice interior shots. I don't think I'm going to read the full text this time, I'll just pick some key points out. So it tells us detailed refinements abound, a soft finish 4-spoke steering wheel, heated rear window. Naturally some visors are provided, the driver has a ticket pocket and passengers a vanity mirror. Notice too the efficient heating and ventilation system with its 2-speed fan, the cigar lighter, the console with its built-in clock and handy tray for keys, loose change and so on. The warning lights, the electric screen washers, the 2-speed wipers and their intermittent wipe feature, and of course dual line brakes. And on the 1700 HL there's a push button radio. And then a little bit of a look at the interior pictures. This is your exciting push button radio that you get on your HL. Another look at the dash, and looks like we do get a rev counter. And then the dash image and a look at the HL steering wheel. Now this is what was always a bit disappointing for me in the later ones. It's a sea of black, isn't it? It really is not the most attractive dash, but more importantly, with your radio pointing towards your passenger rather than the driver, always seemed like a very weird choice. I think overall I did prefer the earlier ones actually, but I know a lot of people did prefer these later Marinas too, but I just thought that was very odd. Look at the velour seats, and actually they do look quite nice actually. Armrest on the rear seat, and we do get head restraints. And then I guess because we're looking from the passenger side, we can see that radio easier from this side. Anyway, moving on. So there's your HL model. So it naturally goes down to your Ls then, and leading with the estate as well. This is your 1700 L estate. Let's see what it's got to say. The trick in designing an estate car, we believe, is to realise the potential benefit of a 5-door design. Now, rather weirdly in the 70s, there were a lot of 3-door estates, which I always thought was very, very weird. Anyway, it says particularly in regard to capacity and versatility, but to retain the comfort and refinement of a good saloon car. Judge for yourself how well we've succeeded with the Morris Marina 1700L estate. It shows all the refinements of the L series saloons, practical, luxurious cropped nylon seats. Okay, so we moved to nylon seats with the L. A cigar lighter, comprehensive instrumentation, double coach lines instead of triple coach lines, chromium plated bumpers and the but we haven't lost sight of the fact that the 1700L estate is going to be used by people who will frequently need to carry substantial loads, possibly for substantial distances. So in addition to luxury touches, we built in many practical ones as well. For instance, the squab of the rear seat folds over, allowing the back of the seat to extend the load. So that's pretty self-explanatory. The back seat folds down. Wow. The heated rear window is fitted with a washer and wiper, a feature which every estate car should possess, but which not all do. Very true at this time. Powerful reversing lights are fitted neatly into the bumper, whilst the rear fog guard is mounted beneath it. As you might imagine, our willing 1700 engine is well suited to the strenuous life which an estate car is likely to lead. And if you notice, with both this L and the HL, it's only being offered as the larger engine. It goes on to tell us 78 bhp will make light work of hefty loads. Its smooth, flexible performance will make short work of long journeys. And since this is, after all, a Morris Marina, you can be quite sure that everything it does will be done with a minimum of fuss and bother. Compare our 1700L estate with other estates, even the more expensive ones. If your standards of judgment are the same as ours, practicality, capacity, reliability, comfort, value, we'll think you'll agree that the Marina really does offer twice the car for its money. Or for your money. That seems to be very much a catch line, doesn't it? Twice the car for your money at this time for the Marina. This is obviously the estate version. We can see how it is badged. Morris Marina 1700. And like I said, this is the L. So we'll grab in something from the back, although in this image it's quite hard to tell what that something is. You can see those reversing lights in the bumper there. And like it said before, now we've gone from 3 to just 2 stripes going down the length of the car. It does still retain that rear wash wipe though. Very dark, sombre interior now. Looks like we've lost the head restraints as well. And there it is. It does suit this sort of flat red colour actually, and this is going to sound really crazy and I can't believe I'm saying this, but actually I think it's quite a good looking car actually. Anyway, let's move on. So moving to the L, like the HL, you had a choice now for the saloon of either 1700L or a 1300L. We'll just pick some key points out from the notes there and then we'll make our way around the images. But really, the estates and the saloons are quite comparable between each other actually. So we talked about some of the equipment on the L model. So we've got that cropped nylon upholstery trim now, which apparently is comfortable and attractive. The rear seat folding armrest and the grab handles with their built-in coat hooks are the kind of touches normally reserved for more expensive vehicles. The fascia too shares many of the features of the HL range. The same functional, elegant matte black finish, the same illuminated switches for master lighting, heated rear window, hazard flashes, fog guard and heater controls, and the same soft finish 4-spoke steering wheel. You'll be pleased to find that the L models come complete with a cigar lighter, vinyl coated felt lined boot floor, a clock and a useful coin tray, grille mounted auxiliary halogen driving lights, 2-speed wipers and a lockable illuminated glove box among other things. In common with the rest of the range, treatment of both front and rear ends is stylish and practical. The spoiler reduces drag and improves high-speed stability. Front bumpers incorporate turn indicators. At the back, a neat rear light cluster houses rear lights, indicators, reversing lights and fog guard lights. Twin coach lines help to accentuate the car's simple, pleasuring shape. Which brings us to the fundamental choice between the two engines available. So, goes on to tell us you can choose between that 1300 or the 1700. A look at those rear lights and the twin coach lines. Obviously a different colour now. It's like a sort of white, sort of ivory colour on this brown example. The seats without headrests, although I prefer this colour. It's not quite as dark and gloomy as the black version. I'll look at some exterior images showing we do get a door mirror and an aerial. And then the interior, although a little bit simpler, it looks like we have lost the rev counter now. So the brown example is the 1700L version. We can see we don't get that vinyl roof anymore. And then the blue one is your 1300 version. Notice only a mirror on the driver's side, although that was quite common in the UK at this time. So rather than continuing in this brochure showing you the next model down from the L, it sticks into these centre pages the Coupe version rather unexpectedly. So the 1300L Coupe, now the L model does get a vinyl roof, and then the base model 1300 Coupe at the back here without the vinyl roof. Let's have a look at the text. It tells us we've never pretended that every car buyer has unlimited funds. At the same time, we've always believed that, even on a limited budget, there are certain things that no car buyer should be denied. These two coupe versions of the popular Marina demonstrate the point of view very well. There are differences between the two models, but they are of degree, not of kind. Both are built around the same engine upon which the Morris Marina reputation is largely based, the famous 1300A series. Other manufacturers glibly use the word proven. Few, if any, can point to a record as long and as distinguished as we claim for this unit, which is a strange thing to put in the brochure really, isn't it? Because it's basically saying we're still using old engines that we haven't updated. It goes on to tell us it's reliable. Reliability is beyond doubt. Its economy in terms of price and availability of spares and its ease of servicing is unquestioned. To this basic dependability, the Marina 1300 coupes add something extra. the sheer pleasure of owning a car with the technical advances which distinguish other models in the range. Look at the specifications of the other models in the range and you'll see straight away that the 1300L offers you a surprising degree of refinement, a surprising long list of standard features. The 1300, despite its modest price, has a dipping rear view mirror. The seats have knit back vinyl. Okay, so the very base model below the L is now moving on to vinyl seats. Comfortable yet entirely practical. The boot floor is lined with vinyl coated felt. The car is equipped with sun visors, illuminated switches, an all black fascia and many of the exterior design features which make the other marine models so enjoyable and safe to drive. And such excellent value. So the 1300L Coupe or the 1300 Coupe, one offers you a lot extra for only a little extra. The other offers you a lot for no extra at all, okay? But whichever you choose, one thing is certain. No two-door coupe in these price ranges offers you better value or such a long history of sheer reliability. In this day and age, that counts for a great deal. Now, I don't really like saying anything bad about the Marina because I do like the Marina overall, but I don't think reliability was ever something that was seen with these cars, or am I wrong there? Anyway, let's have a look at some of the images. So obviously this is a two-door car, so it's showing it here with how the front seat fold back so you can get into the rear. Here is your super basic 1300, not even an L Coupe. Overall, I do like the shape of these. I think the fundamental problem with the Coupe version was that the front door wasn't long enough and looks a little bit odd. And then the L model of the Coupe with that vinyl roof. Anyway, let's move on. And then moving on, this brochure means we're going back to looking at the estates and then the saloons, but the model below the L, the unnamed 1700 and 1300. So we get the HL, the L, and then these not even the L models. It's strange how they slipped the Coupe in between these. I don't really understand that, but here they are. So we'll have a look at the text. Let's see what these models have got, or maybe what they don't have. But I'm sure a base model 1700 or 1300 estate was pretty good value for money, so I can understand at the price point that they probably were, that these were good value for money. Whereas on the other hand, moving on to like a HL, maybe there were better cars you could have for that sort of money. Anyway, let's have a look at the text. It tells us we're fairly sure that of all models in the Marina range, these two are going to come in for the toughest treatments. We've designed and built them accordingly. The seats have easily cleaned, knit-backed vinyl facings. The rear of the back seat, which folds down to give an enormous amount of extra load space, 58.4 cubic feet gross, is lined with a ribbed rubber mat. We've set the reversing lights into the bumper, out of harm's way, and we've offered you the choice of two of the most dependable and rugged power units in the business, the solid, reliable 1300 and the gutsy 1700. Now don't get the wrong idea, we have by no means neglected your creature comforts. After all, we imagine that you're using your 1300 or 1700 estate for more than simply carting heavy loads around. That's why we've incorporated features like an efficient ventilation and heating system with a 2-speed fan and a heated rear window equipped with washer and wiper. So nice that even the base model came with that. In fact, up front, you might imagine yourself to be in one of our luxurious Marina saloons. There's the same sleek matte black fascia, and underfoot there's cut pile carpet. As on all the other Marina models, there is also illuminated switches for master lighting, hazard warning flashes, heater fan and heated rear window. Things look pretty good outside too, with matte black bumpers, matte black wiper arms and exterior mirror. built-in auxiliary driving lights, stylish wheel trim and rear light clusters. The 1300 and 1700 estates, they're tough, they're dependable, but they certainly don't lack style or refinement. And that is what makes them, along with every other model in the Marina range, just about the best value on the road. Twice the car for your money, in fact. So that is what your vinyl seats would look like, and how the back looks when those rear seats are folded down. So at the back there we've got the base model 1700 in white, and at the front here we've got this very much base model 1300 in very much a very sort of like 70s Marina colour, isn't it? So very base models, but overall not too bad. They're throwing a rear wiper on there. They're even throwing these auxiliary lights in there. Certainly a base model Ford wouldn't come with that sort of equipment on their base model. So here it is then, the base model Marinas. So you've 1700 and 1300, not even an L. So your base model 1300 at the back here would have been your cheapest Marina you could get, although actually they actually don't look that basic. They don't come with like full wheel covers, but you know, they've still got these auxiliary lights on them, so they look actually still quite a high spec model. It looks like we just get black bumpers rather than any chrome, but in some ways that makes them look a little bit more modern. Anyway, we'll pick some key points of the text, we'll look through these images, and then on the next page there's a few more key points to look at. So it tells us, like on the estate, it comes with that knit backed vinyl facings, cut pile moulding carpeting. There's a dipping rear view mirror, some visors which are fitted with a ticket pocket for the driver and a vanity mirror for the passenger. Dual line brakes, heated rear window. It also comes with inertia reel front seat belts, standard, 2-speed heater fan with illuminated switch, fresh air ventilation, grille mounted, auxiliary halogen driving lights, electric screen washer, 2-speed wipers. So like I say, not bad overall. And then of course you've got the choice of a 1700 or a 1300. So yeah, actually I don't think for a base model that they are actually that badly equipped for the time. So the images there were showing a passenger mirror in the sun visor, those basic vinyl seats in brown this time. And look at the driver's sun visor with these sort of like pockets in them. That very black dash looking very basic. Look at the very basic steering wheel as well. And like I said, this is your bargain basement, cheapest Marina in the range there, the 1300, and then up front the 1700. So we'll end here. Here's your 1700 engine. I think we'll have a look at these optional extras you can get though. So that vinyl roof fitted as standard to HL saloons and available at extra cost to purchasers of Marina 1700Ls and 1300L 4-door saloons. Metallic paint available as an optional extra on the L and HL models. Automatic transmission, a truly worthwhile option apparently, available to purchasers of the 1300L 4-door, 1300HL, 1700L and 1700HL models. Windscreen and glass options. Laminated windscreen and tinted glass are optional at extra cost on all models, except the 1300HL and 1700HL, where tinted glass is fitted as standard. And then we got a couple of images showing some of those options. And then we get some various little images showing some of the Marina features. How very lovely. So there we go, these late Marinas in what is a really lovely brochure, a very detailed brochure for the Marina at the time. If you had to choose one, which model would you have gone for? And what do you think about the Marina? I know it's a very much a hated or loved car. I think I really do like them. I have got a soft spot for the Marina, maybe even more so with all the hatred from what the press, Top Gear, etc. used to say about them. But I think they were just average cars of their time. For me personally, I did prefer the earlier ones, but I know a lot of people do prefer these later ones. But thank you so much for watching. We'll end, as we always say, each week. Please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free and always will be. We never be charged to be a subscriber. Thank you to all those who have become a subscriber already. It really does help us grow this channel. It's a very niche subject, so we're not going to get lots of subscribers. So if you are interested, every little bit helps. But thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. We'll see you again very soon. All the best and goodbye.